today I'm going to talk to you about macrame. So macrame is the art of tying knots, and we'll talk more about that. But first thing you need to do is you need to have 3 different colors of yarn. So I have dark blue, light blue, and orange, and you're gonna get them about the same length. And at the top, I want you to go ahead and make a knot. So what I want you to do, if you haven't done this before, is you are going to wrap it around 2 fingers like that. Pull your fingers out of there, and then you should have a hole. And then take those little tails and push them through and pull it tight. And there you go. You have a nice little knot. Now to start the macrame off, you need to secure the top, and I like to use a clipboard, but you can also tape it down if you want. All right, so I've got it secured, and I've got my 3 colors. So you can see them here. There's orange, light blue, dark blue. All right, so the way you get started on doing this is pretty simple. So we're starting with orange, and we are working our way over to the right, like how when you're writing, you do the same thing from left to right. And so you are going to start by taking the orange and crossing over the light blue to make a 4. Now we don't need this dark blue one, so I'm going to get that out of the way. All right, so you've got a 4, and then you take the end of the orange and go underneath that light blue and grab the light blue and hold it tight. Just pull it down slightly and gently pull the orange up. And then you're going to do it again. With the orange, you make a 4. Then take the tail, stick it underneath, grab this light blue, and pull it up. And you do it 2 times. And then the orange automatically wants to go into the center, and the light blue automatically wants to go off to the left. So that's perfect. All right, now we're ready for this dark blue guy. And you do the same thing. So you make a 4 with this orange, grab the tail and stick it through underneath, and pull that dark blue down straight just a little bit. You don't want to yank it, and then gently pull the orange up. If you pull it too tight, it's not very happy. And then again, because you do it twice. You make your 4 and take this little tail and go under, pull that dark blue one just a little, and pull up. All right. And then now the orange one wants to be on the right, and the dark blue one wants to be on the left, which is perfect. So we're done with orange. We've gone through all the yarn. We only have 2 pieces here. All right, so we've done 1 little row. So these are knots, and they're tiny little knots, and you can use these to make decorations, like a bracelet is what we are going to be making. So here is to do the next step. You may have guessed, take the light blue, we don't need this orange guy, take the light blue and make a 4. Take the tail and put it underneath, so it looks like that. And pull the dark blue taut, a little bit tight, and pull the light blue up. And then do it again. Make a 4. Grab the tail, stick it under, pull the dark blue taut, and up. Make sure it's nice and tight. All right, we've done 2, and you can tell just how the orange one did before. Now this light blue wants to be on the right, and the dark blue wants to be on the left. All right, and then we do the next one. Same thing. Make a 4. Take the little tail and stick it under. Pull the orange a little bit taut and come on up. Do it again. Make a 4. Bring this guy under. pull the orange taut, and up. There you go, we've done 2. All right, so if you can see, we've got this little bitty orange line and a little bitty light blue line. So guess what's next? It's the dark blue. You got it. All right, so you're gonna take this dark blue, same thing again. Make your 4, actually get this little guy out of the way. Make a 4, and take the tail and stick it under that orange. Pull the orange tight, and pull it up, and do it again. Whoops. Okay, make a 4, and bring that tail under. Pull the orange tight, and up you go. All right, we've done 2. You can tell that they're in different places now. All right, we're ready for the light blue. So this dark blue right now is the one that we're making the knots with. We're just tying knots onto these other pieces of yarn. So the dark blue one is our active one right now, because it's the one we're doing the action with. Okay, up, make another 4, and bring this guy underneath. Pull the light blue taut and come on up. Alrighty, we have completed 1 sequence. We have orange, light blue, dark blue. And we would continue doing it until we have a full bracelet, or however long you want it. So I will continue, and you just keep doing the same thing. A 4, dog hair, hello, under, pull this taut, and up, and do it again, and under, pull it taut, and up. All right, so what we're doing is actually called a full knot. So here, when you do the 4, and you go under, and then pull it tight and go up. Once you do it once, that's a half knot. If we do it again, you get a full knot, because a half plus a half is a whole. So there's a whole knot right there. That's a whole knot. All right, so once you get good at this, you can just keep going. And it's getting kind of long. So you can see we have orange, light blue, dark blue, orange, and then next it'll be light blue, dark blue, orange, light blue, and it'll keep going. So once it gets longer, you're gonna wanna scooch it up, which is why I like the clipboard better, because otherwise tape can kind of, you have to re-stick it all the time. But once you get good at this, you can do it a little bit faster. So I would, with my left hand, I grab a hold of the one that I pulled taut. And with my right hand, that's the one that's doing all the motion and making the knots and everything. So this is a little bit fancier if you want to go a little bit faster. So you would just, it makes a different kind of funky looking 4 and pull through like that. This one stays taut, the light blue goes up, and again, make that crazy looking 4, you kind of wrap it around, push it up through, and go. So you can do this faster way. And if you watch like people on YouTube and stuff who are making these macrame bracelets, they're often doing it like this because it's the fastest way to do it. And this pattern right here that we're doing, which is just straight lines, is the easiest pattern to do. It is just one knot. You're only going one direction from left to right, and you're only making very straight lines. And you can do this, and you can get some really long bracelets. You can also add more colors. That just means you're gonna have to like keep doing all the different colors until you get to the end, and you can get wider and wider bracelets. They take longer and longer, of course. But anyway, I learned how to do this when I was a little girl, and back then they were called friendship bracelets. And friendship bracelets are also these today, but now they're made out of like plastic, and they do a little bit different kinds of knots. But this was the friendship bracelets of the 1980s. So, I used to make them all the time, and I just loved doing it. And some of you know that I used to live overseas. That means I used to live in a different country. And when we lived in Oman, which is next to Saudi Arabia, we would often go on vacation to all kinds of really cool places. And one of the places that we went to was Thailand. It's a country in Asia. It's like its own island. And we went there to go see stuff. And there were these women on the side of the road in a really, really big city. Like, it was a really busy city. And there were these women, these two little old ladies on the side of the road making these. And I was just like, whoa, because they were so fast. They would do this, except like you couldn't see their hands. They were just like blindingly fast. And I was just like, whoa, because not only were they doing this with straight lines, but they could do all these really cool designs and zigzags and V's and diamonds and all kinds of neat stuff. And I was just blown away. And I was just watching them. And after about a half an hour, so I was there with my family, because I think I was like 10. So I was there with my mom and dad and my brother and sisters, and I was busy watching these ladies. And after about half an hour, my family was kind of bored of watching these ladies, but I could watch them all night long. I was just like, whoa. And so my dad, they were all ready to like go shopping, go do something else. So my dad talked to these two ladies at the side of the road, and he asked them if I could just stay and hang out and watch them, and would they kind of, take care of me. And the ladies did not speak any English, and my dad or any of us spoke any Thai. And so the ladies were like, yeah, and they smiled and they shook their head yes, and my dad shook his head yes, and it was like, all right. And so my parents and my siblings all left me there on the side of the road in Thailand with these old ladies, watching them make these bracelets, and they were so sweet. One lady got up, and actually she gave me her chair to sit in, and I sat there, and I knew how to make this knot. Like, I only knew how to make these straight lines like this from left to right. And so I sat down, and she, with her really just cute little old hands and incredibly amazing strong fingers, she showed me how to do all the other types of knots and all the other designs and patterns. And I don't even know how long I was there for, but I was there for, oh my goodness, it had to have been at least an hour before my parents showed back up again. Here, my little guy is getting all messed up. I don't want to be out of the frame here. Anyway, I think we're still good. So anyway, I was there learning all this great stuff from these ladies, and my dad came back with everyone else, and I was still there. I was still alive. I had learned all these cool things. I was super duper happy, and my family was super duper happy that I was still there. And my dad ended up buying every single bracelet that those two ladies had made for the whole day. He bought I think it was like 200 of them, and I have all this huge pile of friendship bracelets with all these amazing patterns in them that I had just learned. And so when I got back to where we were living away from vacation again, I just gave them to all my friends. They were like the Thailand bracelets. They were amazing. And when I had learned how to do all those different designs, so if you've ever been out of the country, like some of you guys have flown to like other countries like Mexico or like another continent like Europe or something, you'll know that those flights are really, really long, right? They're hours and hours long, and they're really boring. But when I was little, they didn't have any TVs, so you couldn't like sit there and watch movies or like play any games. And these flights were like 12 or 15 hours long, somewhere between there, depending on where we were going. And so me and my sisters would just be like trying to figure out stuff to do that's quiet, that was small, that you can do on an airplane. So as you can imagine, we did a lot of these friendship bracelets. And so I spent hours upon hours and probably millions of dollars in yarn just making all these really cool bracelets as we traveled around the world. And anyway, I got to be like really pretty good at figuring out new patterns and like using like 20 pieces of yarn to make different patterns and things. So I actually did that. I made a bracelet with probably 60 or 70 pieces of yarn, and that sucker was like that thick. It was huge, and I spent months on this thing, and it was a really, really cool like overlapping diamond shape with big black diamonds and like these V's that went underneath the diamonds, and it looked like the diamonds were overlapping them, and it was just really pretty, really cool. And I had this friend who saw this bracelet, and he was just like, whoa, that's the coolest bracelet. And I was like 10 or 11 when I made that, and this friend of mine was like 13 or something, and I thought he was just like super cool, because you know, you always feel like the older kids are just way super cool. So anyway, he was just like, that bracelet is amazing, I want to buy it. And I was like, what? This guy wants to buy my bracelet that I made? And he said that he wanted to give me 100 reals for it. So I used to live in Oman. This is when I lived in Oman. And reals is the currency. So like here in the United States, we have dollars. So in Oman, they have reals. And back then, 1 real was about like $2.50 or $3 is what it was worth. So he offered me 100 reals, which is like $250 or $300 for this bracelet. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. Like, this must be the coolest bracelet in the whole world if he wants to buy it for 100 reals. And I was just like, dang, okay, I'm totally keeping this bracelet. Because he thought it was so amazing, I just couldn't part with it. And the crazy part of that is I never worked on it after that. Like, I got it about 3 inches long. Boop. I got it about 3 inches long, and I never worked on it because I just got so tired, and some of the pieces had gotten super, super short, kind of like how you see these guys are getting super, super short now. And once they get like short enough, you can't really tie knots anymore unless you like add more yarn to it by tying new knots, by tying yarn onto the end. So if you run out, it's okay, because this is your practice one. But anyway, that's mine so far, and this orange one has gotten pretty short. So anyway, that was the story of my sad, amazing bracelet. And I still actually have it at my parents' house in Houston. So maybe next time I'm down there, I can find it and bring it back and show you guys. So anyway, I'm gonna undo that. Here is the bracelet, and you can see that it follows the pattern. Now the back of it looks different than the front of it, so there you can see it. But with this bracelet, it is probably about long enough to tie. I would say it's pretty close, huh? Not too shabby. All right, now remember these are all knots. They're all full knots. Remember we talked about that? So you can actually undo that very first knot you made that keeps the whole thing together. If you undo that, then it looks prettier at the top. And because it's all knots, you don't even have to do anything. Like, it's got 3 little hairdos there, and at the end it's got 3 little hairdos there. And trim the bottom so that they all are the same. And there you have it. You have a macrame bracelet. Keep adding more colors and you can make more and more interesting. Then maybe I can teach you some of the other directions. Or if you get really confident, you can go onto YouTube yourself and check out how to do lines going right to left. And if you can do that, you can start making V's. But there you go. Enjoy.